Ever wonder what really drives your financial decisions? Is it the market trends or your gut feeling? Well, what if I told you the secret is actually deep inside your brain's chemistry? Today, we are going to decode the surprising link between a very famous neurochemical and every single dollar you earn, save, or invest. Let's dive into the fascinating world of serotonin.
Now, most of us, when we hear serotonin, we think one thing, the happiness hormone. But in this explainer, we're going to peel back that simple label. We're going to uncover its much deeper and way more critical role in how we make decisions.
You know, the source material gets right to it. Calling serotonin the happiness hormone isn't exactly wrong, but it's like calling an iceberg just a chunk of ice. It totally misses the massive, powerful structure hidden just beneath the surface. So, what is that hidden role?
Well, to understand serotonin, you first have to meet its really famous counterpart, dopamine. Think of dopamine as the gas pedal in your brain. It is the ultimate go signal. It screams reward, desire, action. Serotonin, on the other hand, it's the brake. It's the stop signal that gives us inhibition, patience, and balance. One pushes, the other pulls. And that is the core dynamic we're going to explore.
Okay, so to really appreciate why we even need that brake pedal, we first have to understand the brain's raw, unchecked engine, its fundamental drive for survival and reward. Let's look at our most basic biological programming. The research uses this fascinating psychoanalytic term, eros. This is the life drive, and it's hardwired into pretty much every living thing. It's that deep, non-negotiable program that pushes us to eat, to drink, to reproduce, all to make sure we survive. It's not really a choice. It's more like a command from the depths of our biology.
So, how does the brain make absolutely sure we follow these commands? That's dopamine's job. See, it doesn't just tell us we need to eat. It makes food intensely desirable. It transforms that biological necessity into what Freud called the pleasure principle. Simply put, dopamine makes survival feel really, really good.
Okay, so you have this raw drive, right? Step 1, dopamine flags a need and just floods it with desire. Step 2, testosterone gets the body moving to go after that need. But here's the huge flaw in a system running just on dopamine and testosterone. It is incredibly impulsive. It's completely unsustainable. We would just chase reward after reward until we completely burned ourselves out.
So, if our brain's default setting is just go, 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 what keeps everything from spinning into total chaos? Well, let's introduce the unsung hero of our story. This brings up a really fundamental question for survival, right? If our biology is wired to pursue pleasure at all costs, what stops us? There has to be another system, some kind of check and balance.
And here it is, serotonin. The source calls it the reality principle. It's this incredible regulatory system that slams the brakes on that impulsivity, that builds our capacity for patience and creates the balance and calm we need for long-term survival. You could say it's the adult in the room of your brain.
And this slide just brilliantly shows how they're different. See, dopamine signals are phasic and transient. They fire in these short, intense bursts when a reward is on the line. But serotonin is tonic and sustained. It's not about a momentary high. It's about regulating your baseline mood and stability over the long haul. Dopamine is the firework, serotonin is the thermostat.
So how does serotonin actually pull off this balancing act? Well, think of it like a bridge. It creates this critical shift, moving us away from our primal emotion-driven limbic system and pushing us toward our more rational, thoughtful prefrontal cortex. It literally helps us think before we act on an impulse.
Okay, so we've got this epic battle going on in our brains. Desire versus balance. Impulse versus patience. But what on earth does any of this have to do with staring at your bank account or a crazy stock chart?
This is where it gets super practical. The research shows serotonin is a huge player in our financial behavior. It directly regulates how much we hate losing money, how we perceive risk, our ability to learn from our financial mistakes, and our overall stability as an investor.
You know this feeling, right? The pain of losing $100 stings way more than the joy of finding $100. The source argues this isn't just some psychological quirk, it's a deeply emotional response. It's an expression of anxiety when things are uncertain, and it's heavily influenced by your serotonin system. And get this, your personal tolerance for financial loss, it might actually be written in your DNA. It's heavily influenced by a specific gene called the serotonin transporter gene, or, for short, 5-HT-TLPR.
This slide breaks it down so well. There are basically two main versions of this gene.
If you have the short version, you're probably a bit more emotionally reactive. You feel the sting of negative news, like a stock market dip, way more intensely. But if you have the long version, you tend to be less sensitive to stress, which gives you more of a cool head when you're making those tough financial decisions.
Okay, let's bring all this home. We really need to completely reframe how we think about this powerful neurochemical.
So the crucial point is this. Serotonin is not just about feeling good. That is a tiny, tiny part of its job.
What it's really about is having the emotional and psychological stability to make good decisions, especially when things are uncertain, stressful, and the stakes are really high.
This final quote from the study's abstract just wraps it up perfectly. It concludes that the serotonin system is a fundamental neurobiological regulator that stabilizes economic behavior under conditions of uncertainty, stress, and potential loss. It's not a mood booster, it's your brain's built-in risk manager. And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. The next time you're about to make a big financial move, to buy, to sell, or to hold steady in a panic, you've got to ask yourself, is that choice being made by your rational mind, or is it really your serotonin talking?